Hey folks, hope you're doing good today. Now you might thought we had a heavy day yesterday, and we did. Death metal, 3 killer bands, very, very nice. If you're into death metal, check that one out if you missed it yesterday. But today we're going heavy in a different way, heavy in a doomy, sludgy, low-endy, heavily distorted, metal way. Progressive, all sorts going on in there. We got 2 bands from the UK, which I'm excited about, because I always like to hear bands from the UK. Being from there myself, obviously, but I just like the UK sound. So I'm always interested to get more and more UK bands on the show. We got 2 today and 1 from Seattle, so we're going to check it out. These 2 bands are the UK bands. Tunguska is the first one up. The track is called Untethered Guillotine. It's a cool name. Let's get it on the channel. Check them out. Atmospheric. Got that up nice and loud. Yeah, let me turn it up a bit on my end. Yeah, low endy, sludgy, distorted, dark, drawn out. Reminding me of the Deftones, that is, in the vocal. That's not. Nice. Good washy cymbals. Quite atmospheric. It's got that darkness to it. Heavy, low-endy. Good guitar tone and bass tone. You can hear them both grinding away there. Super low guitars. Nice shouty, gravelly, raspy vocal. Yeah. Good sound. Crushing sound, big, weighty. It's got the washiness from the cymbals. Heavy vocal. Yeah. That's a hell of a guitar tone. You can hear they got the strings nice and flappy as well. You can hear it in the tone. Sounds dope. Good video as well. Yeah, nice shouty vocal. Just pushing a lot of air out, you know. Great guitar tone, dark. Almost got a bit of jangle in it because the strings are so loose. You can hear them flapping about. Sounds great. Yeah, you can hear the bass grinding away there. Bass is super low as well. Really low. So this has pushed it in a new direction. Gone a bit more atmospheric, a bit more spaced out and wide, less heavy. Nice. Moving it all over the place. Drums sound nice. Kick punches out the mix quite nicely, but the rest of the drums are kind of sat back a bit deeper in the mix. The cymbals are very washy, but the cymbals are quite panned over to the one side for the most part. Could have moved them into just off center a bit instead of right over the one side. Great overall tone to it though, dark, deep. distorted and breaking up. Super low endy, heavy. It's almost oppressive because it's got an atmosphere to it as well. Yeah, that's all good stuff. Got a nice vibe, dark, heavy vibe to it. That's what I said, today's going to be heavy. And not death metal heavy as in riffage and blasting double bass drums. This is heavy guitars, heavy bass, heavy vocal. The drums sound heavy. That's what I'm talking about. Now we're going to move on to this next band. Again, another UK band. I love that last band, by the way, if you didn't guess. So I'm, loving the UK bands. This band's called Leeched, and the track is called, it's not called that, by the way. It's called Earth and Ash. Excuse me. Let's check it out. Oh my God. Oh, that is heavy. Way louder than the last band. Over the top loud, to the point of distorting. The drums are distorted. Crazy thick, massive guitar tones blasting in both ears. Vocals got a load of distortion on it. Yes! It sounds amazing. Drums are cutting through all of that mess though. All that noise and distortion and breakup, the drums still sound nice. They're cutting through, the cymbals cut through. Good. A lot of distortion on the guitar tone. Tons of gain. Oh wow. And this here has got an amazing thing going on. You're listening with headphones? Yeah, that sounds wicked. Love it. Dope. Now these guys are deathy. Grindy as well, I would say. Chaotic. Massive. This is one of the biggest sounds we've had on the show. Super loud, super prominent mix. As loud as it can possibly go. But it's worked out. Doesn't sound a mess. It sounds like a good mess. Jesus. Holy shit. Amazing. It's actually giving me tingles up my spine. Ridiculous sound. Vocal is sick, I love it. Shouty. It's got a nice place in the mix. Ridiculous. These guys are ridiculous heavy. Biggest sound that we've had on the channel. The lowest, fattest sound we've had on the channel. Oh my god, and they just keep adding on top every time. It's giving me tingles up the spine. Goosebumps. This is sick. One of the dopest tracks I've ever heard. Holy shit. I'll stop that there. If you watch this channel, you'll know that I don't do this very often, but we're going to run this one again because that was unbelievable. Let's check it out again. Such a massive sound. The drums are massive, the guitars are unbelievably massive, the vocals massive. I don't know what's the bass in there, but it doesn't matter. And then they somehow, just when you think it's as loud as it can possibly go, they notch it up to 11. And you think, well, right, they've got to 11 now, they can't go any louder. And then they notch it up to 12, and then they notch it up to 13, and by the end of the track, we're about 18. It's ridiculous. Just the biggest wall of sound crushing from ear to ear. The whole stereo spectrum is just full of noise. But somehow it's all got its place in the mix. It's not just a mess of noise, it's not getting lost. You can hear the parts of the guitar, you can hear the drums. The vocals have got their own place in the mix. It doesn't clash with each other. I don't know how they've done that, because whenever I've tried this much distortion and gain and noise and volume, it just ends up a big mess. This sounds like a perfect mess. Amazing energy, deathy, technical, high BPM and chaotic. And then the guitar noises in this right ear are just ridiculous. I don't know what amps and stuff they've used to get these sounds, but it just sounds amazing. Biggest sound ever. And they do something like this and you think, oh, I thought the last sound was the biggest sound ever. No, this is the biggest sound ever. This is the biggest sound. And you go, hang on, no, this is the biggest sound now, because they've just ramped it up, so this must be the biggest sound in the universe. And you go, hang on, it's this. This is the biggest sound in the universe. It's ridiculous. The toms coming in now as well, it's even bigger. A lot of reverb on the toms. Somehow they cut through the mix. Oh, this is the biggest sound in the universe. Ridiculous. I say, just when you think they've gone as loud can possibly be, they add another something on top. And then add some more on top of that. Somehow the mix doesn't break up, doesn't fall apart, doesn't just end up as one big mess of distortions. Everything's still got its place. It's just blown up to fuck. Oh, there you go. That's the second band only, I think, to ever get played twice on this channel so far. And the other band was Humanity's Last Breath, Abyssal Mouth. When I first checked that out, in the same way that this track has today, it just blew me away. Because I'd never heard anything like it. Just like I've never heard anything quite like this either. I've heard bands, and I've done it myself, where you just try and push the gain on everything to max. You run everything through distortion. You just turn the volume up on everything and run it through a limiter so it's just maxed out. But when you do that, it falls apart. Everything loses its edge because it's got too much distortion. It's too loud. Everything's competing for their place in the mix. But God knows how they did it. They did it on this track where everything is over the top loud, over the top distorted, over the top low endy, breaking up, saturated, but somehow the drums cut through the mix, the drums still had their place, the vocals sat nicely in the mix, and it wasn't all just a big mess. It sounded sick. It's one of the sickest tracks I've ever heard in my life, and I'm not joking. Instant fan of this band. I mean, after this video, I'm going to be checking this band straight out. British band as well, which makes me feel even better. Dope. 10 out of 10. Seriously impressed with that. Yes. And I know this next band's going to be good because I checked out a couple of minutes of this track before I added it to the list, because I think I found these guys I was cruising about on Facebook and happened to find them. So this is a band called Isdal, and they've got a track for us called Celestial. So let's see if these guys can get played twice. Don't worry if you don't get played twice. It's only ever happened twice. Here we go. I think these guys start out with a bit more atmosphere. They're a bit more blackened, depressive, and all of that vibe. So let's check it out. And I'm buzzing after that last band. That was some of the best shit I've ever heard. Nice guitar tones, nice atmosphere to it already. That's a big sound as well. Low endy. Dark. Washy cymbals. Reverby drums. All the good shit. Nice vocals. Hear the bass nicely in the mix. This is about as far as I listened to on this track, and I thought, yeah, this band sounds super nice. And they do. Vocals sitting nicely in the mix. It's a bit buried, it's a bit distant, reverby, atmospheric. Guitars are really the most prominent thing in the mix. Very dark tone on the guitars, not super distorted, quite twangy. You can hear the strings and the jangle of the strings. Big atmosphere to it though. Dope. Bands today have been some of the best bands we've ever had on the channel. Seriously nice music. Yeah, this is quality. This is that music you put on late at night. It's got the right vibe for that time at night. You know, this isn't first thing in the morning. I would put that other band on, the last band, first thing in the morning, because I tell you what, I felt pumped up after listening to that one. This one's more of a go to bed track. Both of them though, low endy, distorted, atmospheric. Great mixes in different ways. Yeah, these guys are nice. Building it up into a crescendo, pulling us back down. Nice atmosphere to the whole thing. Got the spoken word in there, you know I love that stuff. Buried it in the mix so it's not, you know, the main thing that you're listening to. I like doing that. Building it back up. Great drumming. because they've got a great tone. Massive. I think with this band actually, and I mentioned this before, I think the bass is actually giving a lot of the atmosphere to this music when you listen to it. The bass has got a really wide sound to it. Not quite sure how they've done that, maybe just with stereoscoping. But because of that, it's got a very atmospheric sound to it as well. And I've said before, you can do a lot with synths in the high end, and the cymbals give a lot of atmosphere if they're washy in the high end. But you can get atmosphere from low-end noises as well, and like drone noises and stuff like that. And these guys have done that. Got a very nice, wide, low-end bass sound that creates a low-end atmosphere in a different way to what you would do with, say, synths or with the cymbals that create a high-end atmosphere. And it's two different vibes, two different types of atmosphere. You can mix the two together. I'd say these guys mix the two together very, very nicely. But yeah, I spoke about it with some other guys where they were doing a lot with the synths on the high end, and I was saying you can do stuff with the low end as well, in kind of atmospheric black metal and depressive type music to create a lot of atmosphere with bass. I might do a video on that because it's an interesting topic. I don't think, when people think of atmosphere, they think of kind of ethereal noises, pads and all of that, choirs and stuff like that, violins, and that's all in the high range. But yeah, you can do a lot with sub bass and bass tones to create a wide atmosphere as well, which this band did. Super nice. I'm just going to give this whole video an absolute superb because all three of these bands were killer, killer, killer. And that second band, as I say, I'm going to go off now and check out Leeched, because that was some of the best music I've ever heard in my life. I loved everything about it, loved every second of it. It hit you from the get-go, and it just got more loud and oppressive and distorted all the way through. And I'm the type of guy who loves the heaviest of heavy music. That's what I kind of been searching for my whole life. Who's the heaviest band? I thought it was Black Tongue. I thought it was Humanity's Last Breath, or maybe Cabal. No, it's Leeched. No one's heavier than that I've heard of. If you know a band that's got a heavier, wider, more thicker, dense mix than that, send them in, because I've got to hear it. Because at the moment, the top of my list of the heaviest band in the universe and the most kind of loudest sound in the universe is Leeched. That's them. They've took the accolade, so I hope they watch this vid so they can hear me gushing all about them. Super nice. Loved all the bands today. I'm going to give the vid another superb because I'm just feeling crazy after listening to Leeched. They pumped me up. Great stuff. Like and subscribe and all that stuff if you want to do that. We'll have more different bands for you tomorrow as we do. This was a good one. See you around.